I made it. Better late than never. Okay, we are going to do an update relating to Divine Feminine. I am doing this live, so anyone who sees this video after, um, feel free to understand that we are live. So I'll have a very, very quick chat and then we will get into the energy once we have a few members join. Now, I do put community posts up when we are coming live next, and I was trying to come to you guys today, but I do have a lot of readings. And I also have the last video to do for a member. So I will then be recording all the zodiac signs, which are going to be channeled messages. Hello, sweet. How are you? My famous artist in the building. Okay, now I've got an update for feminine, and we've had an interesting month, and we're moving through that pocket where we're moving towards Mercury retrograde, and there can be some blessings that do come to us. Now, between all the bookings that I have, and I do a lot of work with Divine Feminines. I also do a lot of private sessions when it relates to the join button, the member section, which I will do tomorrow morning for the members. I'll do an extension to this read. Now, there is a bit of a transformation going on with Divine Feminine at the moment. So if you guys have been purging and you've been feeling really down and kind of down in the dumper, you're having an upgrade, okay? And this is going to be a huge year for Divine Feminine. And it will actually be for collective energy probably over the next, I'd say 6 to 7 years, because of the fact that we have Uranus and Taurus. So it is the rise of the Divine Feminine. And I do believe, I don't know why I had this download. I'm like, oh, heck, okay. Now, Tesla mentioned this, and I do recall mentioning this the other day. I'm picking ruins for the feminine. Tesla mentioned this. He said, that Divine Feminine would rise and it would be a very interesting time. Now, we do need to be very careful of, how we're coming through with this transformation over the next 7 years. Now, it is squaring. When it makes squares to Saturn, good afternoon, Scotland. Wherever you guys are in the world, please feel free to tell me where you are. So this year's unique. Some of the situations astrologically can be similar, but it's also the rebuild energy. Now, with Uranus and Taurus, it's a bit like that shake-up energy. It can bring a lot of changes. Now, a lot of feminines at the moment are getting into light body frequency. You may have been eating or going off your food, depending on where you are with your ascension at the beginning of January. Now, as we move forward, we are going to have Mercury going retrograde, and that for a lot of us can be a lot of co-creative energy. Now, from a collective point of view, Taurus is the second house, and we currently have Mars in Taurus. It is going to be there until March the 3rd, and it's also for Divine Feminines. We're needing to get to a point we can look inside ourselves. Now, sometimes we can actually look outside of ourselves for that, especially in our own birth chart. We can really be doing that where it can be projection. We can be going through the energy of feeling abandonment and things to that degree. But from a financial point of view, when we look at Taurus, it can relate to Venus energy. We have Black Moon, Lilith, and Taurus. Hi, Isidore. How are you, sweet? We have Mars in Taurus, which masculines are looking at that attribute because they're governed both by Mars, by Sun, by Jupiter. Okay, so at the moment, Venus is transiting. Next month, it's going to be in Aquarius, and it will be during that period of Mercury going retrograde in Aquarius. So we're gearing up ready to have a very busy, action-packed month ahead of us, and you'll start feeling it by about the 28th. So if you are feeling tired and nonchalant, unmotivated, it's perfectly natural. You're having an upgrade. A lot of you can also be having a lot of downloads psychically when it does come to your empath energy. Now, I did sit with the energy this morning, and it has guided me to do, in the very beginning when I jumped on YouTube, I was going to do a lot of tips and tricks on how to develop certain energies, and I will be doing videos based on how to protect yourself, your psychic energy. Those of you that are twin flames, how you can develop that psychic gift. and also how to manage it. Because the further into your ascension you get, you do end up being quite psychic, and empaths can be quite prone to psychic attacks. Now, if you ever noticed, you know, we look at things to do with Abraham Hicks, the laws of attraction, manifestation. All of those are divination energies, but they're also teaching you a very different way. As you ascend and you go higher into your gift, you won't require to do such because you're being manifesting at all times. So there is going to be, for some feminines, you may be, you know, on the lower spectrum of things. Oh, it's funny. I've just pulled the rune. So the rune for feminines at the moment, where it stands, and I will do regular check-ins, we had been in a lot of masculine energy, and that's why our energy is quite depleted at the moment. Now, I do feel we're tapping into the feminine. We're tapping into the emotional body. I'm feeling maybe quite fatigued. If we're moving into the other side of it, we're getting into yin and yang, but there's an off-balance frequency at the moment. This relates to Cancer, the zodiac. So it relates to green, which this week we are having the full moon in Leo, which can be a purge. And it also is higher heart chakra. You know, it's your heart chakra, it's your strength, it's your drive to get things done. It can be very masculine in element, but again, it's the emotions, the fluid energy. We are in a metal ox year as well, so it's really amplifying that Taurus energy. We do need to be very, very careful this year when it does come to over-trusting. And the reason I say that is because if you do research relating to the metal ox, it does discuss the fact that the rat jumped on his back, kind of swindled us off on over him and ended up winning the race. So you do need to be very tactical about, you know, what to share, what not to share, how, you know, what you need to keep close to your chest. And, you know, when you look at the spectrum of the elements in Chinese horoscope energy, we can become very inflamed and agitated, and we really need to be very careful within that domain. It's going to be a lot of hard work, especially for feminines, but there's going to be huge paradigm shifts within the feminine elements in society. So it can be a huge time for feminine energies. And we're also looking at empath energy. So feminines integrating with the moon energy. We do need to pay attention with the cycles that we can embody that frequency. Tapping into the emotion of masculine, tapping into the emotion of feminine, but getting into that yin and yang with it. So on the highest spectrum of this, mundane, nutrition, this kind of cracks me up because Taurus energy is to do with, it's Venus. It's also the element of feminines. It's the element of agriculture, innovation. It can be, you may find weather patterns at the moment are quite hectic, but it's also our nourishment and our finance and economy. But from a perspective, you will find a lot of feminine bosses at the moment, but we do need to be careful. And sometimes when you have an overbalanced masculine and feminine, right, some things can go pear-shaped. If you do find that you are able to tap into that masculine, it's really healthy. But if you're wanting to attract a masculine energy, it's really allowing other masculine energies to assist with things that you can do, but being open to receiving. So being in receivership mode, so to speak. So this links to nurturing, nourishment, mothering, fertility, beauty, healing, and growth. Esotantric, it's Earth Mother, spiritual growth and sustenance. Now, and I did name this video, you know, in a particular way that we can go to the yin and yang. You know, we can embrace it, or we can be fearful of it and reject it. So we can be in this push-pull energy at the moment where we're trying to manifest things, we're trying to bring things in, our emotions can be overriding us. Hi, Jan. So from the lower spectrum of things, if things are feeling quite trigger-worthy for you and emotions are coming up, it's a really good time to journal. Neglect, sterility, and intimate perversion. I'll call it that. It's the politically correct way to use the term in YouTube. So, okay, let's get some cards. The one thing I am seeing is there's a shift with the feminine. I do feel that the purge isn't going to last too long, but the fatigue levels there. I do think a lot of you are, maybe to a degree, you had been working quite hard, dealing with circumstances of adversity, and now getting to a point where your body is needing to, it's almost like the Four of Swords, you know, needing to replenish. Okay, blue tiger eye. It is easy for me to see beyond the obvious. I am focused on my own scarred path. That's really important right now. Is there something coming up in your life that you need? But really acknowledging it, knowing that anything you do, you must actually put that foot forward. But if you're needing to recoup, and you're going to need to really address that this year, guys. We have the nodes in Gemini, which means an overload of information. And sometimes we can't hear ourselves because we're too connected. So it's disconnecting, it's tuning in, it's journaling, it's saying, okay, what energetically is coming up for me? Then actually having a moment away, and that can be the sustenance for the soul, you know, getting grounded, paying attention to the vibrations. I have had a lot of twins this week. And I remember through my ascension process, you know, being able to tune into masculine. Now, it isn't that it's not right and it's not so, but you can tend to find that the downloads that you have are future tense. So sometimes if you were to then speak to a counterpart energy within 24, 48 hours, 9 times out of 10, they'd say everything's fine. It can be in a 2-week window point. So you... psychic in nature, being an empath, you are more inclined to be very receptive to energies around you. And when it comes in, again, acknowledge what it is, breathe in, breathe out, detach, and focus on the mirror in this situation, and it can integrate it in. I do feel communication energy coming through, but I do feel we are going to be quite vocal. So we do need to be very mindful that that firmness doesn't come through like fire, because fire can melt metal, and we do need to be careful that we're not inflaming situations, and we're really sitting with our energy and taking accountability for that. Calm mental chatter and clear confusion. Take steps to gain new perspectives on life. Increased emotional balance. Now, Uranus and Taurus can cause nervous-related dynamics. It is a Venus element. It is relating to the feminine. It's also external, relating to our ability to provide for ourselves, our emotions, what we value. A lot of that's changing. This week's really shifting things up a notch. So it can be, if you find that you're resting at the moment and you can't be bothered, it's okay. Listen to your body. You may become more productive in doing such. But as it moves, you will find a shift occurring with masculine as well. Yeah, sometimes when we're super busy, it's almost like our body is told we must stop. So if you find that these suppressed emotions are coming up and they're coming up out of nowhere, and you had been thinking about a particular person, you'll always know psychically where that energy directly comes from. But emotions can be coming up between now and the full moon. But I do feel, you know, you're trying to recoup so that you can tune into what those things are. Whatever this shift is coming up with feminine, I think it to be very powerful. It's actually a bit profound, some of the downloads I've had relating to it. Yeah, a lot of self-worth from the past has been coming up. So if you've been looking at things and you've been keeping very mute, I think, you know, you're really tuning into it and taking that accountability with it. But it may have felt that you directly couldn't articulate how you felt. Now, throat chakra, especially in spiritual connections, is deeply important. When you are in a process in the journey, you tend to not utilize it as much because you're directly tuning in more to the outcome of what that will be. And I feel a lot of feminines, depending on where you are in the path, you can be becoming very direct. Yeah, it may have been due to the fact that, you know, some of you may not have felt at home. Some of you may have felt it was inappropriate due to conditioning or a situation happening with a family. Let's see. But again, it was family conditioning, and I think a lot of you have purged that now. You're coming to that comfortable place. There has been a lot of guilt relating to conditioning. Just in case the chat is blocked, because that does happen from time to time. Okay. Yeah, I see there's a shift happening with it. Number one, you are getting a new chapter. You're ready for this new chapter. I do feel a lot of you are recouping. And this transformation is occurring near the full moon in Leo. And I do feel it's heart related. You won't see it coming though. I feel that if any of you are getting fatigued over the next week, it's to prepare you for as Mercury goes retrograde. I do feel you can hear from people from the past during this time. And during that time, I do feel a lot of you will be prepared, but it's not something you directly see coming. Yeah, someone from the past. I do feel some of you do need to be careful about, how do I put it? Especially being that it's a metal ox, yeah, it's be careful who your friends are. But again, I feel most of you, as long as you're focused in on your path and your movement forward, I think most of you are going to be fine. But some of you, you're really assessing whether people are coming towards you in a healthy fashion. I feel in your auric field, you'll know who these individuals are and you'll just steer clear from them. When it does come to the masculine, I feel as though a lot of you are looking at the reality and trying to have the courage to move forward. But many of you are really requiring that that person, you know, takes the bull by the horns and deals with their circumstances. I do feel there's a sudden change though. Again, I just keep seeing it happening around your the full moon in Leo. How are we? Is the chat working or has it frozen again? Do we have anyone in the house to put a comment? Because it looks like it's gone stagnant. There is for some of you, there's a legal situation coming up. There can be something to a degree where you want balance back in this connection. It's okay, good. There seems to be some sense of an imbalance that a lot of you guys are feeling needs fixing. And that can be relating in with what you're getting and how you're wanting things to be. But this appears to be a balance that is coming back. But there is third eye energy here. So, you know, clearing at the moment. If you do feel very susceptible to energy, it's a really good time to clear your home. It's a really good time to, pay attention to those energies and be on point, because I do feel a lot of shape-shifting energy. We do need to be careful about who we share our secrets with, what we say, and how we articulate things in 2021. And really look after your auric field, especially around the 17th, because we're going to have Uranus and Taurus squaring Saturn. So make sure, you know, if you're feeling in ill vibration, the key dates you'd need to look for is February the 17th, June the 14th, and December the 24th. And around December the 24th, 2021, we are having Venus retrograde in Capricorn. This month has been incredibly hard because it's been very old cycles playing out relating to the past. And the last time we had Uranus and Taurus making squares like this was in 1934 and 1942. So it does go back quite a bit. It's going to be in plain sight. These people are going to be in plain sight, but it does feel like a test. I do feel you're going to come through quite assertively, but you do need to be careful in the way that you handle it, because I feel although You may have the gift of the gab and be able to speak to people. Not all people are actually going to take and nurture the things that you say with love and care, and I do feel they may use it against you. So you do need to be careful with who you're sharing information with at this point. Stick to the tried and true. More the groups that you resonate with. But again, I still feel you all will know who these energies are. And that's why I'm saying, you know, it's almost like your light shining and you're moving towards something. And it's not that we can ever prevent the evil eye. It's always so. There is such. But it's really keeping in your lane, but having your eyes on the back of your head, you know, making sure that